Mike has installed over 1,900 successful flow devices in New England with his company, Beaver Solutions LLC. He started the Beaver Management Forum discussion group on Facebook that has over 2,000 members. In 2017, he founded the nonprofit Beaver Institute to promote beaver coexistence across North America. His duties as president of the Beaver Institute include training Beaver Corps professionals across North America. He is also developing and overseeing multiple coexistence programs, including landowner flow device incentive grants, a climate change coalition, the BeaverCon conferences, and the soon-to-be-launched National Beaver BioBank program. Mike is also my boss. So welcome to the stage, Mike.
Hello again, everyone. It's great to be here, and I've been really looking forward to giving this talk, and I hope you'll find it as exciting as I do. So thanks for being here. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about our new National Beaver BioBank program. And if you didn't know it before you got here, you certainly know it now, all the different benefits that beavers have and how they help build climate resilience. And in thinking about that, we've also heard in some of these talks about the importance of good messaging and trying to take the science language and make it applicable and appealing to the public and to policymakers. And so, that's kind of what what started this idea about the National Beaver BioBank. We know that beavers can't solve the climate crisis by themselves. They're not creating all the carbon emissions. We gotta, as humans, solve the problem that we've created. But we do know that they can help. And they can help limit the damage that is caused by climate damage until we get our acts together. So we've learned about all these benefits of the beaver-created wetlands, and there's so many, it's almost a little overwhelming and a little hard for people to grasp that the comprehensive effects that beavers have. And so in thinking about that, we at the Beaver Institute, we're trying to brainstorm in a way to message, and that's where the idea of a Beaver BioBank came from. That, like a financial bank that stores our resources, financial resources, beavers create these ecosystems, these wetlands that are storing incredible biological treasures, whether it's the water, whether it's helping to reduce climate damage, whether it is preserving and promoting biodiversity and helping all species as well as endangered species, wildfires, the whole gamut. So that's these wetlands are essentially safe repositories for all these valuable natural resources. And we think if we message it that way, that it's a little easier for not just the public, but maybe policymakers to say, well, Beaver BioBank, what's that? And maybe dive into a little bit and try to understand what beavers are doing. These wetlands are storing water on the surface, under the surface. They, as Bob showed us in Milwaukee, the millions of dollars that these dams and the headwaters can save in flood prevention downstream. Emily and others have talked so well about the wildfire, megafire benefits of having these beaver biobanks, these wetlands, and biodiversity, as I already mentioned. So that's kind of what led to this idea, and what it did was it helped us to formulate as an organization the things that we were doing and how we wanted to move forward and try to consolidate conceptually the different programs that we have and how to expand them and make them as effective as possible, because ultimately, we all have the same goal. We want to increase the acreage of beaver-created wetlands for climate resilience and all the other reasons. So our program is really having three areas of focus. The first is to train professionals that we've been started in 2020 with the Beaver Corps program, and to have somebody available throughout the range of beavers where when someone has a conflict, they can have someone to call rather than just a knee-jerk reaction, call a trapper and get rid of the beavers. The second part of the program is incentivizing landowners to encourage beavers on their property, and the third being education, outreach both to the public and to policymakers. So I'll talk a little bit about the Beaver Corps program. It's has been mentioned a few times, and I'm really happy that so many Beaver Corps people are here. And so this program, as I mentioned, was launched in 2020, and it was actually pre-COVID, but it was designed to be completely done remotely so that it could be scaled and people from no matter where they are could participate and get the training. So the first part of it is all online classes with quizzes and a final exam. There's like 25 lessons. It takes about 40 to 60 hours to go through. It can be done at a person's own pace, and it's designed to give the foundational knowledge both about beavers, the biology, and the specifics of these devices and how they're built and why they work. The second part is one-on-one mentoring as they do actual, whether it's flow device or process-based restoration projects, and are out in the field and are mentored remotely by me or some of our other volunteer instructors, so that they can learn, and we can assess as they do. And after they've completed 4 of these projects, and we feel they're ready, they graduate from the program. But it doesn't end there, because we've created a lot of online support. They're mentored, and once they'll graduate once they're comfortable, and we've had at least 4 projects under their belt. And then we have the Slack channel where we can post questions and information about projects we're working on, and learn from each other and support each other. And we also have periodic, every month or 2, Zoom meetings where we have guest speakers and other ways to learn. So we're really trying to create a community of people, because we're so geographically dispersed across North America, and it's been a fun thing to be a part of. Chuck Crow, who's here, this is an example of one of his pond leveler installations up in New Hampshire. Carrie, who spoke here, there's one of her pond levelers up in Alberta, Canada. Chris Sorflatten in Iowa and his crew putting in BDAs, helping with agricultural runoff. Chris over in British Columbia, protecting the culvert, preventing those beavers from getting trapped and be able to dam upstream and downstream. Alexa, who's here and who's spoken with the Met Howell Beaver Project. That wasn't a great picture of her, but I put that because this is my favorite picture. Her picture of 2 flow devices in the pond with salmon swimming behind the beaver. I just think that's so cool. So currently we have 47 people who have enrolled or been graduated from the program, and this is the geographic dispersal right now. Obviously we have a lot of gaps, so we want to keep training new people, and our goal is to get to 100 by the end of next year, and continue until there isn't an area that is in the beaver range that doesn't have somebody who can help people out. Here's an example, Kevin Swift, who's done a lot of BDA work. We don't do much of it in New England, so I rely on others that have more experience with that to do the training, and ultimately we want it all covered. So, and we'll do that. It'll just take a little time, but I'm really excited how far we've gotten already. So the second part of the program is a cost share program, and that's based on some successful cost share programs that I've witnessed in my time doing beaver work. And what we've learned is that it's actually not a good idea to pay for the whole thing, because we want the clients to be financially as well as emotionally invested. But just a third of the installation cost seems to be enough to encourage most people to embrace living with the beavers and paying for a device to resolve their conflict. There's a similar program that the Massachusetts Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals has been running for about 12 years now in Massachusetts, and I saw firsthand how it turned our westernmost county from the one that had the least amount of flow devices to the one that had the most. And so we replicated that program in 2020 thanks to a local foundation and in the state of Connecticut, and we had double the amount of requests that we had a goal for. We were hoping for 10, we got 20, and that's in a state where nobody was using float. We were putting in maybe 1 or 2 a year because the Trapper Association offers free trapping. So people were even willing to pay and buy into this, even though they had the option of free trapping. Not everyone, obviously, but once people realize the benefits of having the beavers around and having some financial incentive. So we're working out, we want to be able to measure the outcomes, and right now we're thinking with the, measuring the wetland acreage before and after we put in these devices, measuring the maybe estimating water storage, but we're open to other ideas from any of you as far as ways that we can really measure our impact for these interventions. Certainly, we're excited to be collaborating with the Beaver folks, Aaron Hall and May Lacey at the Defenders of Wildlife, as well as the Google team and with Eager, and those programs are really exciting to me that we can really start, getting more data and helping to really have a measurable impact. USGS Stream Stats is another tool that we could use, and always looking for other ones. So I want to give a shout out to the Animal Welfare Institute, who has generously started funding for this national program, taking the Connecticut program, and we're now offering the Beaver Corps person 2 different $500 grants that they can apply to any client that they feel that would be helpful to incentivize. And with more funding, we hope to continue to grow that so that anywhere in the country, we can incentivize these devices. And the Wiederhole Foundation, they're the ones that got us started in Connecticut. So the third and last part of the program is outreach, and this is something everyone in this room has been doing, and we will continue to do and want to partner with any individuals and organizations that we have this common mission with. But one idea for something new is we may start a regular series of online Beaver Talks. More about that to come, just to help get access to the wider public about beavers and the different things that all you folks are doing. We have, I think, about over 100 organizations and individuals working with beavers that have signed on to our Beaver Climate Coalition, and we want to create, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but work with people and also create advocacy kits where any concerned citizen can download information that they can bring to their local policymakers or state or provincial government folks and try to advocate for better beaver management policies. And so there's a myriad of different ways that we can raise awareness, and working together, we'll continue to make that happen. So in summary, we're in this room excited about beavers and how they help build climate resilience, and we need to, even though there's been a lot of progress in recent years, we need to continue that and accelerate that, and working together, we should be able to do it. We're hoping that our National Beaver BioBank program will be a big piece of that, where we are training people to do the work, we're incentivizing landowners, and we're just raising awareness in general to generate more support for it. So I love this picture. One of our Beaver Corps people, Cooper, who's here somewhere, standing on a BDA, and I just like the enthusiastic look and the hopeful look of it. And it made me think about how it's important to dream. And like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I have a daring and bold dream too. I dream that one day we'll live in a world where beavers will not be valued for their fur, but rather for their contributions to a climate resilient planet. I have that dream today, and working with you together, we can make this daring and bold dream come true. So thank you all.
We have time for a few questions, if anyone has any burning questions.
Quick question about your great logo and the Beaver Dollar Bank. Can you elaborate on what you're trying to say there?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. We can't take credit for that. Was Heidi Perriman's idea. I was talking with her and floating that idea by her, and she actually did the initial sketch for it. And then she referred us to the person that did the Beaver Coalition logo, an artist in Oregon, and I'm blanking on his name, I'm sorry. And yeah, so then he took that idea and created the logo. Yeah, like a piggy bank. So yeah, the coin, may not be able to read it. It says Beaver Dollar on it, and it's just supposed to symbolize a piggy bank.
Have you ever trained any high schoolers looking for service hours in the Beaver install? Like any high schools that have like, what do they call, like natural programs, like global ecology program type institutions? Sorry, kind of an unclear question.
Great, so I couldn't quite make that out. I put this in, but that didn't help.
Yeah, I can stand.
Sorry.
Sorry, a high school in my area has a global ecology program, and I know the students there, especially the older ones, do trainings to work in the community. Have you ever trained a group of high schoolers to do this type of work?
That would be, the question, if I'm understanding, is are we training high schoolers? Yeah, that is actually something that I've thought about, and today, actually just today, listening to our wonderful youth, the salmon folks talk, we got just formulating that idea. But yeah, ultimately, the conservation folks in general tend to be an older group, and we definitely need to engage the energy and the youth of the youth and their ideas, and so that's one of the things that in the national trying to create a Beaver working group where we can strategize together about how to move this forward. One of those ideas is that can we engage the youth and really pull them into this, because, especially with climate change, I mean, they're powerful voices, and we need to hear them as a society. So yeah, that's hopefully will happen. Yes, Scott.
Very inspiring, and love how you think big. I like thinking big. I think we all, at one point or another, many of us speak to folks about what you're talking about, and the ecosystem services, the dollar amounts that we value these wetlands for. Chesapeake Bay program, has a goal of restoring many thousands of acres of wetlands are woefully behind. They're intrigued by this Beaver message, but what is the missing ingredient here? We feel like we're at the cusp of success, but yet, we're up against this mysterious invisible obstacle. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, my thoughts are that it's similar to what I was saying, how there's often a chasm between what the science says and what the public gets, right? And to bridge that gap, I think we need better messaging, as some have spoken about already at this conference, and marketing, really. I mean, look what marketing does. It makes people do things that are totally ridiculous. So, I mean, if it can get you to buy moronic things that you'll never use and go into landfill, it can certainly make you do something that's so self-evident to all of us in this room. So that, I think we need that piece. We need somehow to capture the imagination of the people and get that sticky idea that just grabs people, and they think of beavers as in a positive light. So yeah, that we need help. We need help with marketers and everybody. It takes a village, right? But yeah.
Any other questions? All right.
They're giving you a workout, Adam. The farthest corner.
So why not get somebody to apply for a grant to fund it? Seems like you could get a few $1 million pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like federal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Brian Hummel. Yeah. Anyone?
Yeah. Well, Brian's been preaching to us for years now about there's money there. We just need to figure out the right language to be able to access it. And, I'm grateful for him for being here again to, give us that message again, that we just need to somehow, we're doing a lot of good things, don't get me wrong, but we can really move it forward a lot more and think about what just $1 million, there are millions and millions of dollars out there in grants, right? So you're right. If we could just tap into some of that, it's incredible what we could accomplish, because beavers sell themselves. They sold themselves to us, each of us. When I didn't know anything about it, I learned that beavers are a keystone species. I said, oh, wow, that's damn cool. We're not just keeping the beaver around. There's all these other things, so they don't need a slick marketing advertising campaign. They just need us to get the word out effectively. So, and then for us to effectively write that language in those grants so that the people that have the purse strings get it, and then they buy into it too. Easier said than done, but it's doable. All right, well, thank you everyone, and let's have a great rest of the conference.
Good job, man. All right, we are going to go on a break, but before we do, just want to let you know that there are surveys out that you can start reflecting upon your time here and give us any thoughts or suggestions or comments. And if you do turn in your survey, you get another raffle ticket, which means you could get a piece of beautiful artwork created by Allison Zach from the Human Beaver Coexistence Fund. There's a number of stuffed animals and Lila Phipp's new book, which is coming out this fall. You'll get a pre-ordered copy of that, which is exciting. There's also consulting from me for any project that you're working on. It could be a nonprofit or not, but I'll consult with you on how to realize and Imagineer that. So there's a lot of really cool projects there, or objects in the raffle. So get another raffle ticket and it increases your odds just by turning your survey in. So I think that's it for now. Enjoy your break, and we'll see you back here in 15 minutes. 15 minutes.